Ben, what are we doing today?
I can classify and name figures.
And what's the title of our notes from today?
Points, lines, planes, and angles.
Points, lines, planes, and angles. Number one, main idea, lots of vocab words and a lot of symbols that you have to get down. A lot of it is common sense. For example, the symbol for a point is a point. The symbol for a line, not so much common sense, but you have two arrows on either end of a line. Ahmed, thank you. We have planes, we have segments, we have rays, we have complementary and supplementary angles, and congruent, which is something you already knew from last chapter, and then vertical angles and what they are. Should stop any second now, I think. Or not. Close. Planes. Somebody tell me the two different ways you can name a plane. Two different ways you can name a plane. Aiden, what do you got?
ABC or a variable.
Okay, so not necessarily ABC. 3 points.
Yes, the 3 points.
Any 3 points that lie on a plane can be used to name that plane. Or if the plane has an overarching name, like in this case we said this is plane X, you can just use that. Not always will it have that though. And then identifying lines, rays, segments, and so on, I don't think is something that's going to be too big of a challenge. The biggest challenge is to make sure you label them correctly so I know what you're talking about. Right, Bennett?
Yeah.
Right. Can you tell me the difference between a complementary and a supplementary angle, Bennett?
The difference between complementary and a supplementary angle is supplementary adds up to 180 degrees and complementary adds up to 90 degrees.
So complementary angles add to 90 and supplementary add to 180, but what do you mean? What adds to 90 degrees in complementary angles? What are you talking about that adds to it? Two or more angles add up to 90 degrees in a complementary, and 2 or more add up to 180 in a supplementary. Question for you guys. Do supplementary angles have to be connected? Can you find 3 or 2 separate angles that aren't connected as long as they equal 180? Would they still be supplementary? Yes or no?
Yes.
So if you look at I guess this one would be a great example. But complementary angles, can you have 2 angles that aren't connected be complementary as long as they add up to 90 degrees? Because angle SQR isn't really connected to PQT, at least by a line. They're connected at point Q, but they're not connected with a common line. So complementary and supplementary angles, as long as you have angles that add up to 90 in complementary or angles that add up to 180 in supplementary, you will have a set that would work. Vertical angles, you have to know how to identify what vertical angles are. What would be the key thing to know about vertical angles, Jake? Vertical angles are what? Vertical angles like angle 1 and angle 3 are what, Jake? They're congruent. Vertical angles are always congruent, which means they're going to have the same measure, correct? Okay. And anything else? Any questions I can help you with as you look through the rest of your notes?